Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back. Welcome back aboard the endlessly running train of Canyon Quickviews, where we have to catch them all. If it's a tire, we want to test it, and with each passing station, the gap, the void between the ridiculous and the sublime grows ever larger. This is a relevant statement. The arbitrarily chosen number scale of the Canyon Tire Test Protocol goes from 50 to 99. As a test ordinarily would, right? You go from 50 to 99. A 50 is theoretically unachievable. A tire would have to fail at absolutely everything. And there will be something in the 10 stations of the protocol that it will manage to do. We have gotten very close. We have a tire on the leaderboard holding the Lanterne Rouge, the absolute last spot, at a 57. This seems like an unachievable number. We also have a tire at 99, and we have another tire at 99 plus, because I don't give hundreds. This is relevant here. Today, we face another offering from our good friends at Mix Racing. It just says off-road on the sidewall yet again, but they've done a pin. And not just a pin, it's just a bow tie. This is just a straight-up bow tie. This looks like a buggy or stadium truck tire of 20 years ago. The bow tie is a thing that works. The Powerhobby / Jetco Grabber is approximately close to this. Think a little hybridization, a cross-pollinization of the Jetco Powerhobby Grabber and the Injora S4 Comp Pin. The sidewall is really giving us Injora, but the main band of the tread is giving us Jetco Grabber. Now, this is important that upon the sidewall it says Mix Racing, because Mix Racing is undefinable. Mix Racing, how long is that thing going to go? Is it chimed like 15? It just kept going. Mix Racing. If we take any other brand that produces a number of tires, even if we go to an extreme outlier like RC 4-wheel drive, RC 4-wheel drive has multiple compounds. And if you stick within that compound, tires are fairly clustered. If we were to look at J Concepts, who use a singular compound, all crawler tires are in green. If we were to look at J Concepts, I think it might be around 5.5 points between the best scoring tire and the worst scoring tire. Green is very consistent. Mix Racing, on the other hand, has the unusual distinction of producing a tire that we here locally colloquially refer to as the Fusk, because this is a J Concepts Tusk, the unlicensed scale version of a Mickey Thompson Baja Pro XS. The S is very important. But no, it's a Mix Racing crawler tire, and it is actually good. Of the clones, the knockoffs, the interpretations that we've tested, it's really kind of the only good one. Mix Racing made it. Mix Racing also makes a number of tires that say off-road on the side, and most of them are completely terrible. It has to be near a 20-point gap between the best Mix Racing and the worst Mix Racing. They cover that span from the ridiculous to the sublime. No other brand has done this. Everything Boom Racing makes is awful. G-Made has tires that are true. G-Made might challenge. They have tires that are truly terrible. The 1901, the 1902. And then as the numbers get higher, they get better. 1903, 1904, 1905. We can only speculate on a future with the G-Made 1906 that we might see something even better. But that's for speculating in the future. Today is the Mix Racing Off-Road, the Mix Racing Pin. And the question that we hope to answer is, can Mix Racing mess up a pin? It's really hard to mess up a pin. Powerhobby kind of did it. It is Powerhobby, if memory serves, is still the lowest scoring pin tire in the protocol. There was an X factor missing. They missed something. Now, this is a straightforward pin. I don't know if we'll be able to get any chirp out of it on the desk here because the contact surface is actually quite small. So the question we're going to arrive at is, how impactful is compound when it comes to a pin? In many other tires where we're talking about lug versus void ratios in that like 50%, 50-50 seems to be a good place to go. Plus or minus 10%. If you get into really big voids, it's generally going to work against you. If you get into lugs that are very tightly packed, with some small exceptions, it's generally going to work against you as well. And this is as nearly opposite of scale as you can get. You don't see real-world tires that look like this. It's unscale. We have no idea what the compound is. It's stinky, like most of the off-brand tires from abroad. It says on the sidewall, 118 by 42. That tire is 118 millimeters tall. And because it is fitted with a Canyon Custom and not the included medium hard, I've seen this foam many times. Many times. It is slightly undersized. I'm looking at the rack to see if we have a normal C2, like a 475 foam, and I do not. This is a little undersized this way because the carcass is not that thick. It is also a little undersized width-wise, but that's not important. It is 40... I'd go as far as to say like 46, maybe 47. So this is hyper typical of a class 2 tire. Tusk. It's basically the same size. And I don't know why they would claim 42, because that's the width of Injora's. And this, you can just tell by that this is wider than any of the Injora tires. So a silicone is going to flop around in there a bit, which is why we didn't opt for an Injora silicone. I am looking for this gentleman right here who is already fitted with 3 of the 4 Mix Racing Off-Road. They have the full bow tie. They're bow ties. Now, a pin is not a cheat code. It's just a pin. It does what pins do. So, where is this going to land on the Mix Racing catalog of cloney interpretation? Mix Racing also famously has a regular, this size, 1.9 interpretation of the Boom Racing Hustler, which is slightly better than the actual Boom Racing Hustler, which is catastrophically bad. I can make no guesses or estimations because it's Mix Racing. I want to say right around 95 is where the fake Tusk scored, and I want to say they have a tire that's sub 75, like around a 72. So over 20 points of span. This could be a 95.5. It could be an 81. We have no idea. So all we have to do is go out to the rocks, and they will let us know. It is full-fledged predator weather. It is that time of year here as this test is being performed. It is probably in the high 40s, low 50s Fahrenheit, meaning it's around 10 degrees Celsius, and the humidity will almost certainly be into the 80 to 85% range. And I mentioned this to you here rather than out there. My hands are going to be very cold out there. Is that this is as good as conditions are going to get. So I am comfortable in saying, while we don't know what these are going to do, what you see will be the best that they're going to do. It is indeed right around 80% relative humidity, but it is also about 5 degrees Celsius. Will that be too cold? There's a roll-off point. Every compound has a certain roll-off point where it gets too cold and then the tires start to get stiff. Mix racing. Could we today, it's making me jittery. Could we today see the fake Tusk, unseated as the best that mixed racing has to offer? There is, in a certain moment, there's just the tiniest bit of, like, that thing where a drummer, he's got that drumstick, but instead of a drumstick, it looks, I don't know what it's called, I'm not a drummer, it looks like a whisk, and then kind of, you get a little bit of that. We can't get lug noise because we don't have actual lugs. It's like stealthy tire, and we're having a real cooperation here. There's still ample opportunity for this to go astray. We're getting a pretty strong collaboration between the Canyon Custom Soft and the Mix Racing. I'm just calling it the Mix Racing Pin. Yeah, the Mix Racing Pin. This is a little bit of the chuff. We're not going to hear that chuff. I don't think the mic's going to get it. A little steady state action. Give it a little steer. Ooh. Pushing, okay. Pushing harder than anticipated. Mix racing. We're, ladies and gentlemen, you've climbed aboard. Come on, ride the train and ride it. Woo, woo. You are indeed seeing something right here. If you don't know it, let me let you know it. We're seeing a thing right now. Let me get that first cut one more time. Push over, don't slide, little slide, but oh, 9 more stations. Hold it together. We gotta hold it together. The canyon is a zone of microclimates. It is much colder right here when we move towards the green stuff than it was sitting over there. Oh, hold on, get that bumper out. We don't have any side lug to work with, as with most pins. Oh, do the things, come on. Mix racing. Yep. Guys. That is like, we're in a perfect, hopefully unrepeatable position. We're gonna unseat the Fusk today. I don't see how it can't. It's pin stuff. It's a pin tire. A pin tire does pin tire things. Did I already take the cut center? I feel like I did. Doesn't matter. Wow. So, we still don't know the answer to the question. Is compound that important to the pin? I don't know. This compound is definitely working with this pin. If you get any wheel slip across open ground, like you give it a little bit of beans, it leaves no It leaves no footprints. There's like a line, like you took a 48 millimeter wide stick and just dragged it across the ground. an open, even stripe. Now, we're not getting any side slip, overload, turn it back. It's really staying up. Wow. Okay, that may well be one of those instances that the no side lug people, the iron rock people are looking for. We got that tire. It gets in a little notch down here, and if it had any side lug, we'd get a pivot in a direction we don't want, but we don't have a side lug. That's startlingly consistent. Now, there is the pendulum swinging back the other direction, which is, I understand, if you don't like the look of a pin tire, I get it. I consider the pin tire is every bit as much a sacrifice for vanity as gorgeous, custom painted hard body with interior. Only in the opposite direction. Equal but opposite. You are giving up cosmetics in exchange for only performance. Did you see that turn down? Actually got a little slip out of it. I went in too deep. We Phil Collins'd it. Push that around. Oh, wow. They're really forgiving. We may also see there's an auxiliary leaderboard of performance value, like performance per dollar. This could be pretty good. This could be pretty good. That is a really strong side hill. It's not the strongest side hill you're ever going to see because kind of when you're getting side load, the fingers don't want to let go. So high weight is going to become louder on a tire like this. We're still in those dawn hours. The shadows are super long. I know exactly why we didn't make first pull. We had to drive across some relatively dewy ground to get here, and we loaded up a little bit. That's why I'm sticking in here. Yeah, I mean, we give it any small bump. I want to see it do it clean. The fixed rise. Little bit more of a show of how important is compound. Very receptive to changes in throttle input. It has this, I don't think I'd classify it directly as a lack of versatility. A pin is as omnidirectional as a tread pattern gets. Fantastic. Just enough slide on the descent. That got in pretty good. Ooh. Very nice. This comes back, this swings back around. Also, there might be a 5-degree differential in surface temperature between the sun side of the moon and the dark side of the moon right here. Yeah, keeping it real low input. No side lug, so you got to work by wiggling. Oh, nice. Okay. Should be clean. Let me see. Oh, really? Ordinarily, we're going to get a little bit more out of shape because we're fully omnidirectional, but yeah, it's real nice. There is a high level of predictability. It does not have the same amount of forward drive as another really good pin. It's a little lower than that. But I have to think that the width is playing a part here because the predictability is super high. And I value that predictability, that responsiveness. I will take it, woo! I will take it in exchange of pure forward drive. That angle cut on that rock was perfectly clearing the lugs. But we get to do the breach on again, so that'll be good. Cut a little more this way. Get those rear tires cleared out nicely. A little back, a little zoot. Oh, these are cat-like. I've had to use a bunch of bumps already. Really receptive to those bumps. Do we have enough? No, we gotta bump it. Just kind of hops. You just hop to where you want to go. Oh, the pull around there. Oh, it's real good. It's real good. Bumper out, come back around. Got the rear pumpkin, bump it out. Coming down, excellent, and the turn is going to be incredibly tight. Can we stay on that ridge face, or are we going to fall through? See, I'm still clearing lug a little bit. There we are. I wanted to be right there. Ride that ridge line, not a problem. Get it while the getting's good. We are not going to unload the side here at all. Is the weight going to transfer? No. They're kind of getting better. Little cutback, was it too much? It was not. I don't know if it looks like it. I can't tell. I know what I'm looking for. I'm not 100% sure what you're looking for. That was really good. Really good. Does it have as much forward drive as other pins? Not quite. Is it more? It just has to be the width. It has to be the width. The Powerhobby Grabber, and my memories of it are distant, did not feel like this. These are sharp, real crisp. If you took me in blind and I didn't know who made them, I would guess a quote-unquote name brand. Because I don't think it's outrageous to say that most off-brand tires have an off-brand feel. I love just watching the pepper mill action of the rock against the tire as dirt is just crumbling out. Advantage pin, one of the advantages of a pin is we have, even though these have slightly different lug shapes, quote unquote, the pins are slightly different shapes, it is still kind of a monoblock tire, but definitely more void than lug. Yes. Oh, I had it. Here's the thing of it. It is behaving simultaneously like and unlike a pin tire. Very interesting. Class 3 center cut. Can we get the belly over? Yes. Very strong. Getting a little hop out of it, which is also kind of unusual. I want to see the dead bumps. You don't have to give it much. You don't have to give it much. Ooh! Can we get donkey out of it? Not really. Gets a little erratic. Like you're not going to be 100% sure where your rear end is going to land when you give it a real portion of beans. But because of that monolug, because of the ratio of empty space to lug, you don't have to. Little, just little micro bursts to the side creep. Nice. Cuts up earlier than many others we've seen. Yeah. This is it weird to say a driver's pin? This is a bit of a driver's pin where you can get used to the you will become acclimated to what this tire do. Look at all the dirt we've carried up on there. It's fresh peppered. Look how deep. Now, not surprising, there are no shoulder lugs. So we'll go for a catch. Yeah. Again, in the spirit of the driver's pin, if you catch it mid-flop, you got it. We have to try at least one forward power. So we'll go get it high up. Oh, it's even easier. The turning circle is absurd. Okay, we got to let it come to rest. Okay, there we go. Okay, the whip is a little rowdy, but the ground is a little mushy over there too. I notice his bumper picked up a big bit there. Yeah, it's a good bumper, but it's a little more of a catcher. If you catch it mid-fall, it's going to be a lot easier to go. But, final note, for a tire with no side lug, very good. And no shoulder lug, really, very good. On the drive back, I was paying particular attention to the fact that if you're going over dry, there's no pick and flick to these tires. They don't pick anything up and sling it into the air. Once you get them wet, they're picking stuff up and throwing it everywhere. And they clear far more quickly than I would have anticipated. Like, those fronts still look pretty crudded up, but the tip of the pin is still out in the clear. Oh, just got that belly. Trying to crab walk it. Yeah, they just bite. Really nice. Again, I have experienced lug tires. Just normal, maybe not, well, yeah, let's say scale, not just like into the hieroglyphic territory. I've experienced scale lug type tires that have more direct forward drive right out of the bag, like immediacy of the drive. But these, they just keep pulling on you. Can't quite. I need to get to a point. I don't know if I can. Like this stuff, I get that tire drop, right back on. Here's the deal. That nonsense and hooliganism right there, you can't do on other tires. You'll get a side bite and you get the ejection. This, I mean, I know where the grab spot is. It's right about here. Muscle it back. Got it right there. The directness, the responsiveness. They're just really good. All we have to do is hope that wet doesn't just kill them. And I don't think it will. Because if they can do this well while being real glazed donut, wet should be okay. I'm manifesting. I'm trying to make it be. We have completed the pre-math. The only thing standing between, look at those clear. The only thing standing between mixed racing pin and mixed racing pin greatness. Look at these clear. Come on, clear that surface. Is the wet. I mean, they brought it all over here. Is this a dry day tire? Maybe. They're right there. Now, this is more still in the vein of surface transition than wet. There we go. A little bit of beans, and we're through. It's just scraping mud on everything. Yeah, that is a little bit of a weakness shown. I'm not, we're not going to candy coat it. But I will take a tire. This is a personal thing. I will take a tire that has a little bit of trouble on wet before I will take a tire that has a little bit of trouble in heat. Oh, there's that chuff. Yeah, the maneuverability comes right back. I need to clear them. So, lug height on a pin definitely starts to become impactful. There is that loss of wet traction. Well, why did I go right to hard side first? Let's swing it around. Kind of getting bullied a little bit. There we go. Okay. Get out into open ground. Get up there on the top. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there we go. The clearer the lugs get, the better we do. Yeah, that steering responsiveness is snapping back now. Stay right there. Do we have enough? Oh, you! Yes! Okay. This is not unanticipated. They don't particularly care for getting loaded up. Now, of course, factor that into your personal scoring. I had to do a small deduction there at the end. So we end our day at a 97.2, which is unquestionably better than any mixed racing tire has done before. The fake Tusk had a 94.8. This is significantly higher. The maneuverability is what got it to where it is. I was hoping it could have gotten a couple tenths higher. 97.2 on the leaderboard is unoccupied. That is now directly between the 2.2 Proline Moab in M3 and the S1 22 Canyon Trail fitted with 3D printed inserts. So in terms of, the Moab is long discontinued, and the 22 Canyon Trail has a range of fitments. Also, that is a cut Canyon Trail on 3D printed inserts specifically for the Canyon Trail. Who else is in that neighborhood? Immediately below that is the G8 22 Trencher, the 22 Hot Bodies Rover in pink, the 22 Proline Ibex in Predator, and the 22 Rhino Moza. So we're just clustered by 2.2s. A 1.9 is going to get you, in a pin, is going to get you kind of the most. Is this the highest scoring 1.9 pin? No. It's the XHX pin. Yes. I recently lowered the score of the Injora XHX pin. It was previously at 97.8. It now sits at a 97 because it is too temperature specific. It's too specific to the weather. It's too much like Predator Compound. I couldn't see it scoring higher than the Ibex because the Ibex is in Predator and is also temperature dependent. Now, are the mixed racing pin, off-road pins, are they temperature dependent? Odds are no. Odds are that they are not. I think that it, like most pins, being short-lugged, are best suited to a drier environment or a non-muddy environment. There's nothing about a pin tire that says, give me the mud. They're just going to get loaded up, and then they're going to be kind of chuffy and scrapey and slidey until they clean themselves out. So, there you go. Mixed Racing has eclipsed themselves. There is now, out there in the world, another off-brand tire worth buying. I used to, just because I don't count Injora. Injora's legit. The Mixed Racing Fake Tusk was my recommendation. I would say if you have to buy an economical off-brand tire, it's the Mixed Racing Tusk. Now it's the Mixed Racing Off-Road Pin. If you don't like the look, I get it. You still have the Fake Tusk. You still have the Fusk out there. But this has now set the highest imaginable bar. Let me scroll down. When am I going to get to somebody? Okay, from where we sit right now, it goes Proline Hot Bodies, J Concepts, Injora RC 4-wheel drive, Axial, J Concepts, RC 4-wheel drive, J Concepts, Duratrax, RC 4-wheel drive, Proline, J Concepts, Pitbull, Proline, J Concepts, Rhino, Injora, Proline, Louise, HPI, G-Made. You could maybe make an argument for G-Made, but it's an MT-1905s. It's the best they've done. Pitbull, Injora, Duratrax, OT6, RC 4-wheel drive, Duratrax, Injora, Proline, Vanquish. Do you basically see what I'm saying? To get down to something off-brand, you've got to go, it's the Mixed Racing Fake Tusk. It's the Fusk. That's the next one on the leaderboard, way down there, that is from a non-tire company. Mixed Racing making a splash. Now, I mean, thank God we have another option that doesn't cost $35 a pair. Am I right? Or am I right? So, thank you so much, everybody. Remember always, unless you are piloting a rig extremely similar in composition and layout to our good tire testing buddy here, Baseline, and unless you're driving it here, your results may vary. Could be a 1.5 points either direction. You might find these to be utterly impossible to maneuver. I don't think so. Pins are kind of something that translates. Pitbull. We have one Pitbull tire that's scored, I want to say, above a 94. Maybe above it, maybe two above 94. They don't do well here. They just don't. Some places, they sing the song that people want to hear, not here. So, this is a greenhouse. This is a J Concepts greenhouse. And the Mixed Racing Off-Road Pin has done quite remarkably well. Anything above a 97 is basically a, yeah, go ahead and get this. What did I say? 97 too? Is that where we ended? I was hoping for like a 97.4, 97.5, but if you load them up, we're looking at versatility overall. If you load them up, they get a little So, I hope that the rest of your day is not thank you so much for joining us here in the Canyon. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and in between now and then, please, one and all, do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again here from the Canyon. Baseline is just happy that he got to test a tire that wasn't abjectly terrible, and we're all happy for you too, bud.